Hi everyone, welcome back to the Social Media Derby. Got a great episode this week, 2 more game weeks to go through. No predictions because obviously we've got the FA Cup this weekend and then the Carabao Cup semi-finals in midweek. But yeah, we've got a lot to chat through. A big 6 fixture as well, Arsenal versus Liverpool. And then first time having Rhys on since his manager got sacked. And first episode we've all been on since my manager got sacked. So we've got a lot to chat through. But before we do, for those watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, share if you can. For those listening on the audio podcasting platforms, please follow, give us a 5-star review. And of course, all the views expressed in the podcast are just jokes, entertainment purposes, and not real reflections of our opinions unless they're football related. So let's crack on then. How are you lads doing? Lot to chat through, man. Not only the football, but also the sackings. And you've already got your manager, Rhys. That was super quick. I don't think I'm getting a proper one for a little while. But how are you, man, doing?
all good.
We move. Another day in the life.
That conveyor belt of managers never stops coming.
The circus continues, man. Rolls on.
All right, but before we get into the Chelsea and United segments, and we'll talk about the managerial stuff, we did have a big 6 fixture. It wasn't the greatest fixture I think we'll ever see between some big teams. It ended Arsenal 0, Liverpool 0. First of all, as a group, my bad. I completely forgot that there was a midweek fixture, so we didn't get the predictions out in the last episode. But I will say it was the most uneventful. We all did absolutely diabolical, to be perfectly honest.
Why are you clapping? You failed to participate.
I'm just saying. You can fail to participate and hold your position.
A man that didn't win a race when you DQ'd on a full start, bro.
Some people say DQ'd. Some people say they let you. I gave you a chance to catch up, and you still dropped at the finish line. Yeah.
We'll go through all the shenanigans a bit later when we give an update on the prediction league. But a couple man forgot to send theirs through or sent it through too late in Rhys's case. But unfortunately, you can tell. Yeah, man's trying to claim it. There was not enough capitalization on these mistakes. Let's put it that way. We all, as a group, had a pretty diabolical game week 21. But let's get into the actual games themselves. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 0. I'll start with you, Arsenal lads. It literally was a game of 2 halves. I think you could say as a neutral watching, you guys definitely had the first half. You played, the football was a bit more fluid. You looked quite dangerous going forward. But then the second half, I don't know what happened. Liverpool started getting on the ball and it kind of swung the other way. But Rhys, I'll start with you, mate. What did you make of that game? And do you think 0-0 was a fair result in the end? Because we're hearing different things out there on the interwebs.
Word that I'm not sure if I can say yet. The things that we're hearing on the interwebs, for starters. But I think 0-0 was fair in the sense that I don't really feel like either of those teams went out to try and win the game outright. I think we had a passage of play in the first half, especially where we looked like quite good, quite dominant, but Liverpool had good chances during that. I think they obviously kind of settled themselves into the game in the second half. But ultimately, I don't really feel like either of the teams went out and had like that X factor or that go the distance kind of thing. And I think in that Liverpool probably should and could feel like it was a better result in it for them because obviously we're at home. We're the ones in first place. We've got the pressure on. I wouldn't say they played like I said, I think it was a case of neither team really going out and doing what was needed to take 3 points. And probably if you really deep it, like most people would have been happy with the situation outside of watching that 90 minutes of dross. Most people would have been happy outside if you said, you know what, we're going to maintain this lead at the top. We're going to stay where we are in our point in the table. We're not going to lose any ground really. We're going to share the points. It was just very uneventful and a little bit cautious, I think. And I think if Arsenal want to win it all this season, we got to be better than that. Like, we got to go and fight and put the ball in the back of the net. And I know we're going to talk about our striker at some point, so I won't go into a monologue about him, Joe. But we got to put the ball in the back of the net.
But we'll come to you, Io, in a sec, bro. But also, let's not forget you did play another game before that, which was away to Bournemouth. Got the dub 3-2. Lots of goals in that one. But I just feel like, in my perspective anyway, the Arsenal-Liverpool game was kind of, you get them every season, you get a couple of them between the big teams where you just kind of have two teams not going gung-ho, kind of quite cautious. And if the first goal doesn't go in, it's very likely it's going to end that way. I know you guys have had a couple with City in the last couple of seasons where they've ended 0-0 or it's been like a 1-1 and been very cautious. And it always happens. I feel like this was one of them. I think the expectation was just a bit lowered because of how diabolical Liverpool have been compared to last season. And the fact they had no striker and there were all these other things that Sturridge was basically catching life for them on the punditry part. But they actually stepped up and played a bit more like a Liverpool title winning team, or at least title challenging team in that game, considering. But it wasn't the greatest watch, was it? It was a bit of a dodgy watch.
The interweb agendas are agendaing. This is like, Liverpool have been diabolical, and like I said, I don't think either team deserved 3 points. But people are being like, "Oh yeah, Liverpool," and like Arsenal, they could have done it. Liverpool didn't get a shot on target.
Yeah, the group chat we've had some funny things go back and forth between a couple of lads who are not on the pod this week, like Johnson Kem have been going back and forth about passing stats in different halves, and then we saw my favorite things, the stat lines with XG and all that. And I'm sorry, if it's under 1, no one deserves to win anything. It was like 0.56 versus 0.34. No one deserves to win if you can't even reach one expected goal, which I know is Io's favorite stat. So we'll use that as a segue to come to you, bro. What did you make of the game? And I know you were quite disappointed with some of the tactical elements. You shared some screenshots and stuff in the group chat about getting the best out of some of our attacking players. What did you make of it, bro?
Yeah, it was disappointing, obviously. I think, again, it's another big game where we kind of don't look our best. And obviously, coming off the game against Bournemouth, which obviously was an intense game. It was a bit more fast-paced. But I think we need to expect that when teams play us, they're just not going to set up the exact same way they're going to set up against other teams. Like, obviously, like when you see Liverpool draw 2-2 to Fulham, you'd hope you get that same type of Liverpool coming in to play Arsenal, but obviously it was they're going to set up differently when they face us. And yeah, that's what we saw. We're disappointing. Don't think we created many chances. Nothing to kind of get excited about. 0-0 is a fair result. But I think a lot of the big 6 games as well, they've just been really, I think they've all been cagey pretty much this entire year. They've not been really expansive or exciting, or what we've seen in, like, I guess in the last few years. I guess everyone kind of hopes for those City versus Liverpool games when it was like Mane and Firmino and Salah versus the whole Sane, Sterling, and like Aguero times when those City days. But yeah, it just seems different now. And I think it's also like a indictment of football. It's very technically, it's very much a tactical game now. It's not really down to individual brilliance anymore. And yeah, as I said in the group chat, I think that is very much a symptom of our team. I think we rely more on like breaking teams down tactically, where it takes a bit of time, where it's all very much recycle, and then finally get that breakthrough instead of like kind of trusting our individual players and their skills. And then that's where it came from when I put the picture of Saka's positioning and the fact you've got Timber and then Nketiah playing pretty much left forward and right forward with Gyökeres. And as much as it kind of looks cool, it might feel cool if they grab a goal and stuff. I just don't think ultimately it's not nice to watch. As I said, I think it's a shame that Saka, like, if Timber's playing right forward, that means Saka's hugging the touchline. And obviously, I think the ball is going to go to Saka there. But I just much rather my right winger be in those positions and kind of be a bit more closer to goal instead of always hugging the touchline, which I think Saka's done a lot this year, and it kind of shows with his output as well. And that's what people like Kem would love to mock, but we don't really listen to Kem because he doesn't really use facts or he doesn't actually look at the game tactically, sadly. But yeah, I think it's just little things like that. So I kind of wish that we just didn't, especially in the big games. I'd love for us to take it to Liverpool. Obviously, it's hard if they're going to play a low block and they're just going to sit behind. But I think that's where you've got individual players with individual talent, and that's why you need those kind of game changes. That's what I think Saka is. That's why you need to get players that can just break a team down with a bit of magic, because you're going to get games like this where teams just set up to defend, and you being so tactically, has to be like a very tactical breakdown, isn't going to work on these teams. You need something, just a bit of spark, a bit of light. And yeah, I think in the big games, that's what you miss. And yeah, against Liverpool this year, obviously they've been so poor, but somehow they've taken 4 points off. They've taken 4 points against us. So in one hand, that's kind of the shame. But then the other hand, obviously, thankfully, City dropped points and they're still kind of in the same position that we were in going into the game. Would have been nice to get a win at home, obviously, and obviously beat Liverpool. That would have been good as well, because they've not been in very good form themselves. But yeah, that's just the Arsenal way now. The days of my tiki-taka Arsenal seem to be a thing of the distant past. So we just need to accept that those days are gone now. We just need this is a new way of Arsenal, and so yeah, just gotta accept it. But yeah, it wasn't a good game to watch. No team deserved to win, and yeah, it was a shame that it ended like that. Really, to be fair.
Do you think, because Slot came out, you kind of alluded to a team being a bit more defensively set up, right? Which I think in the first half, Liverpool were definitely very compact. But in the second half, and I think that's what Arne Slot was alluding to when he talked about low block Arsenal and how that's why they struggle to break you down, etc. Do you think that's a fair comment? Because I don't think I think people these days are confusing a team just being compact, and obviously when the other team has the ball, what are you supposed to be? Just like,
exactly.
I'm trying to avoid a pause-worthy moment here, but you know what I mean. You've got to try and stay in the correct shape. You're surely not going to be just like going gung ho when the other team has most of the ball and they're trying to attack you. So I think people confuse like just being defensively solid with low block. Low block is just what we did second half against Newcastle, where you've got 8 defenders on the pitch and you've got a line of 6 in front of the goalie. That's low block. Just being defensively compact is not low block in my book. I don't know what you man think of this thing now where everything is about different levels of block. It just sometimes you got to defend, right?
I for one hate the term low block anyway. I don't know when sitting back became so out of date, you know what I mean? I don't know when that was a phrase that we just stopped using in football. But yeah, no, I think
it's parking the bus.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, I don't understand this whole need to just kind of gentrify things. Like, why it's not a lot like people certain teams part of the bus, certain teams sit back.
Man saying low block is the Gales of football. It's the Gales of football.
It's all these man that are flipping subscribe to the Athletic and only wear Serie A jerseys when they go out, bro.
I'm so frustrated. Honestly,
I in the function wearing a Calafiori Bologna jersey the other day. I said, "Take that off! Take that off!" Bologna.
But it's about game. It's about game state, though, right? Like, I understand if someone comes out and says that. If you're playing like, I don't know, like who's a real I feel Jose gets harshly tarnished with this because he did do it a bit, but he would also move with the game, and like a lot of his teams were quite attacking at times. Like if a team sets up, Simeone used to be like that.
Yeah,
sure,
exactly, yeah. But the thing with like Simeone, it's like they play to their strengths. They're going to play you on the counter. Like if they know they can't outpossess you, obviously they're going to be like, let's just sit deep, and then when the time comes, then we're going to just hold back and then wait for a moment to kind of attack. So I think it's just naive, and I think we've seen it more this year with teams sitting back. I think the problem is when you see big teams doing it against big teams. I think that's why people think it's wrong. Like, you don't mind if you're going to play like a promoted team because you don't. That's understandable. But when you see a big team play a low block against another big team, it just feels like come on. Especially when it's like Liverpool, they spent money. It's like, come on,
let's be real. Neither one of these teams played a low block in this game. It was about game state. So in the first half, when you had more of the ball, Liverpool got to defend and be compact. The second half, when they had more of the ball, you did the same. No one played a low block. Right? Some teams have done that, and I get you, you're right. Like when a big team does that, people seem to get outraged. Although I feel like even that's harsh. If you're going away to like one of your big rivals, it makes sense to be a bit more, because you don't have to go out and win the game away. Right? You can come away with a point, and unless you're chasing the team and the situation in the league is such that you have to go that way, why would you? You've got to let them come, like actually try and attack the ball for their fans, and then you can maybe catch them on the counter. But I don't think anyone did this. I feel like Slot's just crashing out on every press conference if his team don't get a win. It didn't make sense to me.
This is all of that Americanization of football nonsense. People want to see a hoop sesh. This is not San Antonio versus OKC, guys. Like, people are upset, and a lot of the time it's neutral fans that are upset because they want to watch what they feel is an exciting or expansive game of football. But football...
No, but the thing is, I hear you.
That's not the way that that's not the function of sport. If you look at what Americans often used to say about the sport, it'd be like, oh, like you watch for 90 minutes and no one could score. And you can still watch a banging game that finishes 0-0, or you can watch a game where one team has got 75-80% of possession, but the other team are like fighting back. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like we found such linear, arbitrary ways of talking about the game now. And I think one thing, if I ever have to give Kem credit for anything, I think one thing that he's right about it, but then he also plays into it when he wants to be a troll. The little
troll.
Troll. Yeah. Don't want to get cancelled. He is definitely some form of rodent. But like, it is, like I think like people use stats and use all of these like sort of different ways of analyzing the game that ultimately just happen because journalists and pundits have more computers, more data, and need stuff to say. They need content. Do you know what I mean? That's why we're talking about this, that, and the third, isn't it? Like talking about XG and like final third passes completed. But I saw someone share that Alisson had more touches than Gyökeres in the game. You flipping idiot! Of course, like bro, he's the goalkeeper. Like common sense has left the chat when it comes to talking about football and you're analyzing the stats and the data and whatnot. So I think the low block and the game states and the XG and all of that, it's all part of it, isn't it? Like people are just like, oh, here's something from Opta or Scorecard that I can use to run what is essentially my team rivalry, my team agenda, the player that I don't like agenda, my manager system doesn't work agenda. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, are you watching the game? And that's why when like certain people, Kem, start talking to me about like, oh, well, look, oh, you had this many touches in the box and oh, like you couldn't. Broski, did you watch the game? Because if you watched the game, you wouldn't be excited about it. Like you would have watched 90 minutes of Dross and you would have just charged it and been glad that you didn't pay to go see it in the stadium.
But I think that's the thing though. Sorry. I think that's the thing though. I think the only part I disagree, I think when people say it's like boring, I think that is because I think when people see, like obviously as I referenced earlier, when you had the Liverpool City games with Klopp and Guardiola, it was exciting. Even though the teams are both like really, it was always tight. It was always like a good, entertaining game of football. It wasn't boring. And so obviously now when we were Arsenal, it feels like all of our big games. I can't remember the last time I had a big game where I felt like I was like out of my seat, watched just like dismantle, or like had a really competitive big game. So I think that's why
last season.
Maybe last season. Yeah, true, yeah. And but even like the 1-1 we had this year when we played them, like it was just such a kind of game. But usually, like I think obviously when people see the Liverpool City games like from back in the day, like not back in the day, literally like 4 years ago, it was just literally bang like two big teams getting against each other, and just kind of like absolutely just great football being played and being expressed. So I understand as a neutral, it's boring to watch, man. If you see two big teams that have great players, and it's just like ping pong, but there's no like no one trying to go for the actual break. So
football's become about winning. Like the need to win is so heavy now. And if you look at some of those, like when we talk about the City pool thing, yeah, a lot of the times when those games are being played, like, okay, cool, you're trying to like smash them because you're chasing them, but the people chasing you are not that close to you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's you, man, having your little battle, and everyone else is kind of watching on like this, innit? So it almost felt like that now, where not only are other teams getting into the mix for the title race, but like the battle for Europe is so much closer, like the margin is so much finer. And bro, like European football winning this. This is like half the managers, 2/3 of the managers of the clubs on the pod today have been sacked in the past 2 weeks. Do you know what I mean? Like the level, the required minerals for success, like what you need to not be thought of as a failure, the bar keeps raising. Do you know what I mean? So people are getting tense and tetchy with it. Like you would never see teams, like you would never expect to see a Leeds Liverpool type game like you saw this season 4 or 5 years ago. Like last season's champions struggling to get any points off a newly promoted side. Do you know what I mean? Like I personally think that that's why like the whole league has changed. But if you want me to get in my conspiracy theory box, it's not a conspiracy theory. I do think like not just Arsenal, but obviously Arsenal, you run a little agenda, you get more clicks. Same thing with Manchester United, same thing with Liverpool. It's the big red teams. That's how you do well on social media if you make football content. Sorry, Rhys. World champs though. But like that's the facts of the matter, innit? And I think if we are gonna talk about it in that way, like let's look at like the Martinelli Bradley situation, because we're talking about what Slot said, and I think Slot actually said something reasonable. He always says wild stuff in press conferences, but he actually said something reasonable on that situation. But if you look at the way that like people are talking about it, people are saying that Martinelli needs a lifetime ban.
Yeah, but that's Gary Neville. Gary Neville riled that up on comms. He completely lost his head and was an absolute bollocks on that part. He acted like he'd done like a leg breaker when clearly he'd not understood my man was actually injured properly, and he thought he was time wasting. Which, to be fair, a lot of players do. But I want to ask one question before we move over to Rhys and we start talking Chelsea stuff and then get into United. This game, even though historically, based on last season and maybe the last couple of seasons, would have been a big top 3 fixture. Liverpool are 4th, guys. They're like 14 or 13 points behind you. Is there an argument to say if Arsenal, and I don't want to set off Io here, but were a bit more expansive and maybe tried to play to Liverpool's weaknesses, like a lot of teams have done this season and beaten Liverpool, that you could have got joy and got the 3 points? Or do you think that the game didn't offer it when you got to, on the pitch? Because some might say that Arteta just stuck with his tactics that he normally would kind of employ and didn't shift them to say, look, Liverpool struggle with, what was it? Long balls and low blocks or whatever that Rhys said. Or maybe I got it right then, didn't do it justice for you, bro. But going for like more of a Sam Allardyce style of football, you could have Tony Pulis ball, you could have actually got the dub against Liverpool. Or do you think that this game didn't really offer that opportunity? Either one of you, Io, Razor, what do you man think? Do you think that that's fair, or do you think it didn't offer that opportunity?
I remember, mate, I think every time we played them, I remember the first time we watched it, we went to Anfield, I said the same thing, we should have took it to them. And it frustrated me as well, like the first game, and it's frustrating again, obviously. I think, as I said, I think Arteta is very much, it's like follow the tactics and then we break you down. As I said, we need, obviously that's why I think we sign players like Eze and like to be like these kind of game, or have like Ethan, that kind of bit of magic to break a team down. But obviously I think he's very much stuck in this way of like, you play within the system, don't like leave the system type of thing. Maybe I could be wrong, but that's just how it looks. And so yeah, like I think we should always take it to Liverpool because they've not been good, and I think we've seen it. Like obviously they're going to play different against us, but that's when we should like change the way we play, and that's what frustrates me more than anything when it comes to Arteta, is that as much as we've made so many improvements, I feel like in big games he kind of doesn't ever want to take the handbrake off or kind of take those extra risks, which obviously the risks might not pay off, but I feel like this is why you sign players like Eze. This is why you've got your older guards, you've got your Ethan, you've got Saka. Like let these boys shine, let them do something, and then see what happens with it. But I just feel like it's always play in the system, and then we'll break them down. And if that doesn't work, then we just have to we'll take a draw and be happy type of situation. But yeah, that's how I see it, and it is frustrating because Liverpool have been there for the taking this entire year. So not beating them at all this season, I think that's so disappointing, like super disappointing to me.
You agree, Razor? I can see wincing and reactions.
don't agree. I was actually going to avoid arguing with Io for once on the pod, but
what have I said that's justifiable of an argument? There's nothing there that I said that was outrageous.
Man, there's some doom and gloom always. Like
what? This is again with this rhetoric. What is
Can
this?
you shush? Did I let you
What
speak?
is this?
I let you speak. Shush.
And they started insulting me. Honestly.
Yeah, well, then say smarter stuff.
Impossible.
In terms of,
it's too smart already.
In terms of this narrative that other teams are going out and getting points against Liverpool, and other teams are going out and getting points against. I hear you, but like they are not playing the same way. They are not setting up. They haven't got the same energy. You're telling me that the team that like dropped what was it, 4 points to Leeds in 2 fixtures? You tell no, no disrespect to Leeds, but do you feel like Liverpool are turning up? And like Liverpool are turning up, they're going after these games. It's the same thing on both sides, isn't it? They're going after certain games, and because they're going after it, they're getting exposed. Teams do this every week. Wolves did it. Everyone was like, "Oh, you only beat Wolves 2-1. You needed 2 own goals." Like, bro, people are coming to the Emirates and they're being like, "We are not getting dunked on. We're not getting smacked about. Can't happen. I don't want to be Tottenham." That's what's happening. And when you enter the thing with that, it's gonna restrict the free flowingness of the game, but it's also gonna make it like it becomes more cagey, more tense. So I do think like it's a bit reductive to be like, oh, other teams are getting points off this team. We've not got as many points off this team, and it's disappointing. I do agree with you that he needs to start like changing it up, but then also again, it's like if we go for it and we get smacked, your criticism is going to be on him. It's not going to be like, oh, why have our team not managed to, you know what I mean? Like the criticism is going to be on him. Personally, I think, like we've got forwards that we made enough chances in the first half. We were dominant enough in the first half. We could have been 1-2-0 in front going in at halftime. And like Arteta can move the little dots around the board, Amorim in the Grimsby game styly, but like he can't put the ball in the back of the net for man. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when like the system's not perfect, I would love the system to be tweaked, but the system's not so bad that we're coming with, what was it you said, and 0.45 XG or whatever it is. Like, come on, bro. Like, when does Gyökeres need to take like accountability? Even Saka, like Saka's not banging in goals. He's not as clinical as he has been. There are things that he would have just 2 seasons ago. And everyone wants to make it like, oh, the tactics are terrible. Bro, Odegaard only just started remembering that he can score goals. I hear you. I feel like we should have been better. I feel like we should turn up more. But like, we got to respect ourselves and respect the fact that the opposition don't want to get clapped. Do you know what I mean? And we're clapping, guys. People were like, oh yeah, Villa, they grabbed the last minute win. Bro, we smacked them about. Like, so it's like we're turning up to big games, but like Villa turned up and said, yeah, we're going to try and play against Arsenal. If you turn up and you don't try and play, it makes it very difficult for the game to go any other way. And then would you rather play this beautiful football and lose 2-0, 3-0 at home and title charge done in February? I don't know. It's like,
I think a good comparison is to look at when Liverpool went to City. How did they set up? And I think they set up in a similar way, but then City had a game changer in like Haaland. Doku had an amazing game in that. And if Saka and Gyökeres and other players in your team stepped up in that same kind of way, even with the same tactics, you probably could have beaten them. But I think Razor points to like the uncomfortable thing. It's not mad uncomfortable, but for the uncomfortable thing that like you need to look for your big players to provide that spark in those big games. And if they don't, then it's very possible it ends 0-0 or you don't get the deadlock broken because you're talking about high level tactics between top teams. It's normally those bits of magic from a game changer, like has happened before with the Saka, but before in big games, or Rhys, obviously in the Real Madrid game was a good example of like bits of magic that completely changed that game. Because let's be real, that game could have also not ended 3-0 if he doesn't hit 2 worldy free kicks and start opening the game up and Real Madrid have to go for it. You know what I mean? Like that can happen if Saka or one of your big players has a big game moment. And we're not going to go into the Gyökeres thing before we wrap up this segment because I'm not going to stick the knife in, but we know what that performance was. It wasn't pretty. Jesus is looking like, like I said, reincarnation of R9 when he touches the pitch after Gyökeres has had 60 minutes. It's crazy. Rhys, we'll bring you in, bro, because man's just been sitting there silently for 30 minutes. Sturridge was saying, and I want to ask you this, he was defending, he's obviously an ex-Chelsea boy, so this is the segue to you, right? Roy Keane said Liverpool have been one of the worst champions for how they performed, and Sturridge was kind of backing him up. What do you make of that? Do you think it's fair to move the goalposts on Liverpool and say like top 4 is fine, or do you think they need to be classified as really bad champions after spending 450 million?
I definitely don't think they're the worst champions. I mean, we finished 10th after winning the league under Mourinho. So. I think Leicester also did put up a
almost got relegated, didn't they, afterwards?
Well, yeah. So I definitely think sometimes Roy Keane, sometimes he says stuff, maybe out of anger and not thinking straight. But it is poor though to spend that much maybe and finish. So, but and then even then, because the league's been so bad though, like you could probably argue that they're not doing that bad. If they're in the top 4, it could be worse. And right now, top 4 looks like the best way for them to recover for their season, because they're not going to win the league. Let's face it. There's only one team right now with everyone else slipping up. But the best thing they could do is get top 4, find their form, get all their players back, and then maybe some of that money invested will come to fruition next season. I think there's another thing as well with all this, like take it from someone who's been there, like all this money spent, and obviously you expect instant results. Like it ain't gonna happen. So I think it's definitely not the worst season. I think that's a bit of an exaggeration. But obviously every season could be better. But they're sort of building momentum, I guess. They had quite a long unbeaten streak, didn't they?
Yeah, 10 unbeaten now. A lot of draws, but it's 10 unbeaten.
Yeah, you just got to build on it and just get confidence, get players back. I think Wirtz is actually playing well, not doing bad. I mean, I think he gets a lot of heat, but there's worse signings that have come in the league this season as well. So I think he's there you go. So I think it's not all bad, doom and gloom. I mean, I'm a Chelsea supporter. could be worse, mate. But yeah, I think the best thing for them to do is just build on this, get their players back, and stick with their bold-headed manager, because he had the answer last year.
You're biased to the board-headed manager, though, because we'll segue now into the Chelsea section. So not the greatest week for you, bro. I mean, and that's coming from me, who didn't have a great week either. Well, managerial stuff, very good, but we'll get to that. But in terms of performances, not the greatest. 1-1 draw at City, last minute. My favourite player, Enzo Fernandez, bundles it in at the back post. And then, that Fulham game was mad. Another sending off. Looked like you might be able to snatch a draw, and then Raul Jimenez scores the winner for Fulham, and the boy Harry Wilson actually I think scored the winner for Fulham. And you catch a L in West London. Bit weird, couple of weird games, don't you think, mate? Or we said this so many times with the red cards, but we have to give it justice, because Arsenal and a couple of other teams have had this question posed. But there's definitely something going on with your players that you're catching so many red cards. It's weird now, surely, Rhys. You've got to admit that.
Oh yeah, 100%. The red cards are ridiculous. Like you can't even justify them anymore. I'm not even saying with experience in that, because how many red cards do you fuckers need before you need to understand that leaving us short, bro? Like, what are you doing? Like,
and it's Cucurella. He's not a youngster. He's like 26 or something or whatever.
That says it all. One of our most experienced players is still getting sent off and putting us in jeopardy. Like, it's just ridiculous. And like the last couple games kind of signifies the good, the bad, and the ugly with Chelsea. That's pretty much what we get. Like City, not a great first half. Second half, we came right back into it, and I think we could have scored at any point. We played really well. I think the substitutions were key. Andre Santos in the midfield, so that was great. But then we followed it up with that against Fulham, and the thing is, we started well. First 20 minutes, I think we did play well, but then it's just that completely turns the game on its head, and then just for the next 70 minutes we're backs against the wall type performances. So the thing is, the red card was stupid. You can't justify it. Harry Wilson? I think he was through on goal, and he let him shoot, bruv. Let him shoot. At the end of the day, you're elite players. You should be used to going behind, and like you can't do it, because when you do that, like I said, the first 20 minutes we was dominating. So I have faith that we got back into the game, that we could, and we did with 10 men. So there was every chance we could have gone on and still won early in the game. It was just a stupid thing to do. So, but it just highlights the kind of lack of experience that we've got, and
it's not learning from mistakes either, bro. Because the way that went was very similar to United in like game week 5. Mbeumo's through, goalie in that case makes the dumb decision. You could have just let him through and score, and you've got all the chance to come back in the game and win. And Fulham with this situation is really similar. Like you said, Harry Wilson's balling out, bro. I've got him in FPL. He's been cooking for like the last month. But even if he scores, oh well, you're 1-0 down. You can still come back and at least draw or win the game. And they just take the wrong decision. And like that's like 3 months after doing the exact same or very similar thing at United. They're just not learning from mistakes either, which is concerning.
Shit, and then it just goes down to having that experienced head on the pitch, not in management. We ain't even got that in management, but on the pitch to say, listen, hear what? Like, calm down, like, stop, like we haven't got that where players can tell other players to calm down. And someone like that, like Thiago Silva, would have just said, let him go if he's away. Like, but there's no communication in defense. Like, it's awful. And it just pretty much sums up the mismanagement of this football club, to be honest. And I guess that's what you get when you throw a bunch of inexperienced players out there that sort of still needs someone in there to kind of keep their heads, because it's just, you can't justify that many red cards in a season. You just cannot. Like, it's awful. And then let's get to obviously the last few weeks and how
how about the manager. You've sacked one, which I mean, I know Maresca was chatting, and we talked about it on last week's pod, so I won't go over it too much, but get your opinion mostly. But he was chatting a bit, and the sacking happened so quickly, and then, to be honest, the appointment happened so quickly. It was like 3 or 4 days, and he was confirmed. Liam Rosinia, or I think he said his name differently or pronounced it differently in a press conference, which shocked me because I think we've been saying it Rosinia forever. But he's the manager now, or head coach. I don't know what the terminology is. We have to be careful about that with my manager as well, or ex-manager. Yeah. So what do you make of it, bro? What do you make of the whole debacle? I know you've obviously got Clear Lake out, so I can guess whose side you're on. But what do you make of this Maresca and Rosinia situation?
It's all just a bit of a mess, and it makes me laugh as well, all these briefings as well. And then, like, when he got sacked, saying all these other managers would be candidates, bro, we knew who was going to be the manager the minute Maresca got sacked. Do you think you can piss on one season and then go to another club and try and piss on their season? No one's going to let you take their manager, and any manager worth their salt ain't going to come to Chelsea, because there's a clear structure of how we operate. And if anything, this managerial appointment, like, if you didn't deep it before, Chelsea are not here to win things. We're here to make profit and flip players and make players better so we can move them on. Like, it's a project. It's not an organization to win things, because you can't tell me after the Club World Cup, and then people can say it's a glorified friendly, but PSG wanted to win that. If there was one club that wanted to take that home, it was PSG, and everyone
have some shame.
No, you can say that, but PSG wanted that tournament. Like, they wanted, and you can say it's not prestigious now, but give it a few years, everyone's going to want to win it, because it's the new version of the Club World Cup. Like, because we're just the first ones to win it. That's why everyone wrote it up. But it doesn't. That's not my point. That's not my point. The point was the performance we put in against PSG And then you could say, oh, it's a glorified friendly, but PSG the game before slapped up Real Madrid. So there's an urgency there from them. So, but the game we played against PSG and Maresca kind of showed us that with one or two players back in, we could actually do something and like make some progress in the league, but you just didn't do it. Like Colwill got injured, you didn't get an experienced centre back to come in and to help. And like even last season, like linked with Osimhen like for so long, and then just didn't get him, like nothing. Like, and then so it just. And then all you do is just buy in these players that no one's ever heard of to try and make a profit, and then flip them and then move. Like that just showed me after the PSG game, a goalkeeper, a centre back, and maybe a recognised striker, Chelsea are up there. And then it doesn't make sense. Like if you're going to buy these inexperienced players, and then like Jackson, I was the first to criticise him, but at the end of the day, I was more for him to have experience, like competition, up front, rather than like just be the sole striker. So it's just about how you're sort of complementing the players that you have, rather than just moving players on, bringing in more inexperienced players. Like, here are the signings. Yeah, please tell me. Sorry, I know I'm going.
Man's prepped it.
Tell me if any of these players would get into any of your teams. You especially, Ant, because just tell me. Just let me know, please. Right. So these are the these are the signings that we've given Maresca. I'm not even talking about since 2021 when these idiots came in.
Thank God. We'd never end the pod if you did that, bro.
Right. So Tosin Adarabioyo, Amari Kellerman, Esteval, Mark Guiu, Keenan Dewsbury Hall, Renato Vega, Caleb Wiley, Philip Jorgensen, Pedro Neto, Yao Felix, Mike Penders, Jadon Sancho, Delap, Esugo, Gittins, Hato, João Pedro, Kendry Paez, Sarr, and Buonanotte. Tell me any of them players that would get in your team.
You left out Garnacho.
Garnacho as well. Come, like you spent.
Man's so kettled, he forgot the worst one.
You spent 100 million on two players for the left wing, and you've made us weaker. Even Noni had 2 years on. 2 years on some of the players that are in the team now. It would have been better just to keep him. Like it just shows a clear mismanagement of this football club and how it's gone. And then like to appoint a manager like Liam Rossini, no disrespect to him, but it just shows that you're not here to win. Like you're not here for now to win. And you can say, oh, I fucking, even like they're bringing up this clip with David Ornstein, like a couple of years ago. Oh, Chelsea are 2 windows into a 4-window project, and then after that 4-window project, they're going to judge how they've been. How the fuck's it gone, bro? Please tell me, how's it gone? And like the Club World Cup saved them really, because it made them come out with a bit of balls and say, "Oh, this was justified." It really wasn't, my bro. It wasn't. We've got 5 sporting directors. What the fuck did they do? Honestly,
back on the sporting director.
I'm going mad. And to be honest, it's not. We won't win anything of any significance while these guys are in charge, because they're just interested in the money side and the data side, and that's not how you win trophies at the end of the day. So, I just feel like what they've done is they just, with everything to play for in the new year, a semi-final in the Carabao Cup, which apparently, according to Sky, it's not the end of the world if we go out. Like, who are they to even say like what a cup final day is to a fan? Like, you pricks. But like, I'm raging. But like, so
this has to be clear.
We were still in the top 4. We could have gone to the knockout stages of the Champions League, and it's just like, because your ego has got in the way of someone who knows what they're like. Don't get me wrong, Maresca wasn't perfect. He's learning on the job, but he sort of gained the trust of the fans, and it got to a point where he saw the flaws in the team, and you couldn't even give him a recognised centre back. Like linked with Mike Maignan, pulled out because of the extra 5 million. Like, piss off, man. Like, we can't do this all the time. We're shortchanging the team. And Maresca saw it. And because you're not happy with how he's calling it out, granted, he shouldn't have said it in the press conference, because then it all just went downhill from there for him. But like, because he's called it out, you've decided with your ego to just scrap everything we've had to play for this season and just put it in the mud. It's giving Potter vibes when we let go of Potter and finish 12th. Like we've gone from everything to play for to literally could be nothing after next week. So yeah, that's kind of it's peak. And I think it's always going to be Clear Lake out until they understand that this isn't how Chelsea should be run. Like based on the work Abramovich did beforehand, and even the work Ken Bates did in stabilizing the club. Like you're just literally pissing on all of it, like because you've got this crazy model that you want to implement. But yeah, let me stop there.
Generational.
No, I hear it, man. I felt
that's the best one yet.
No, I could resonate with a lot of it, man. We'll get to United segment in a minute, and I'll probably crash in a similar way. But I hear it though. But I can't really disagree with any of those things because when you listen out all them players, some of them are my deadwood, which is mad. You know what I mean? So the strategy is absolutely crazy. But I think as soon as you heard the rumors, whether I'm sure they're not rumors, I'm sure they're true, like about them not signing players over a certain age and they have all these policies and stuff like that, you know what the deal is. Then you kind of know the Mike Maignan stuff is probably not true. It's probably just put out there to just try and get the fans to come on side. You know they're not going to get an experienced centre back. You know they're not going to sign a proper left winger when you need one. They're not going to sign an Osimhen. They're going to sign a Delap and a Guy and whatever else these young strikers are. Yeah, you know it's not. It's like the proper American corporate playbook. What they're doing, right? It's to use the 15 PR agencies that they've got to put out positive news about what they're doing, and then in the end you're left with Garnacho and Kittens and whatever else you got. Like that's what's going to happen, isn't it? But Razor, I as well, just to focus on the Rosenia appointment. Hope I got it right because I actually like Liam Rosenia. He seems like a decent guy. What do you make of this? Are you buying the kind of PR that the club are putting out there, or have you looked at his record and realized this is just like it looks and smells like a company man? To be honest, yeah, he had no option, right? He left. I bet they said to him.
He had an option. He had an option. Let's not run this narrative. He had an option.
No. He would have lost his job.
We're in a dictatorship. But Dag Mugabe is running things, bro. If he says jump, we say how high. Well, they do. I'm telling you.
No, but what I mean by saying he had no option was they probably said to him, we want you to come to the Chelsea job, right? And made it probably very clear that if he turned it down, that maybe his Strasbourg job was probably going to be at risk, right? There's no way if he turned it down, he keeps that job, or you think I'm bugging. His option was lose jobs or take Chelsea job.
I don't think you're bugging. I'm just saying, like, if the idea of managing Chelsea was so unappealing to him, there was an option. The option is that he loses his job at Strasbourg. And let's be real about the world of football. In terms of what he was doing at Strasbourg, it sounds like he was pretty well liked by the fans and the players there. Sounds like he was contributing well for a club of that size. So there's no reason, looking at the world of football, how does the average football fan, player, whoever involved in the sport feel about the multi-club ownership model and what Blueco are doing? They're not fans of it. He would have got another job. Let's not act like Liam Rosenia was going to be out of a job in October of this year. He wouldn't have been. If he had said no, take what you get. Like he's not. It's not happening, isn't it? Like somebody else would have employed him. The level that Strasbourg were at is not so high that he couldn't have got another comparable job in it. And like Rhys said, my man is happy to be here. You know when you say, sorry, like we always take it back to here, but you know when you can tell that a man has never pulled a baddie before and he is just happy to be here. You know the memes that they were making of Damson Idris when he first started seeing Laurie Harvey? Them way there, bro. Like man's like
he's punching 100%.
It's my first day here and I'm just so happy to. And you know what? I'm not even mocking him about that because I feel like he seems likable. Like he seems like he wants to do a good job. I saw the clip of how he was talking about what Alex Ferguson meant to him when he was managing. I can't remember what the club that he was managing, but they were playing Aberdeen. Aberdeen. They were playing like a game, and he was saying like, "Oh, it's just like this means so much to me. I grew up in this environment. Like, you can tell he's a football fan. But let's be real, like, you ain't never seen a happy-looking Chelsea manager in the past, like, decade, have you? You ain't never seen, even on day one, man are not turning up there and being like, okay, full of optimism. Like,
this is part of the problem, man. Like, he's literally like, so he got announced as manager. Bear in mind, Tuchel got announced as manager and took the Wolves game the next day. This fucker's flown back to Strasbourg, done a couple interviews talking about how sad he is to be leaving, come back, done an interview for Sky before the Fulham game. We're like, what are you doing? Talking to, like, shut up, bruv. Act like you've been here before. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect him. I'm not trying to disrespect him because obviously I do think he's a good manager. I just think he's too enthusiastic right now. And it's just like, don't be going to do all these in-camera interviews when you haven't taken the team yet. Like, God forbid we don't get a result against Charlton and then we got a game against Arsenal on Wednesday. Like, it's just going to go downhill from there. So I'm not a fan of that, having to do these press conferences, doing an interview for Sky before you've even taken the team for a game. I just feel like he should have said nothing until the Charlton press conference. But yeah, I just feel like Ray said, he's way too happy to be here, and that worries me as well.
Maybe you've been scarred for too long. Maybe you need this optimism. Maybe this might be good for you. I think he's a yes man as well, for sure. But Rhys, there's a lot of trauma there. So maybe this is what you need to kind of appease the trauma. Maybe you need a bit of enthusiasm, a bit of like this happiness to take over Chelsea, because it might just be like, I don't know if he's gonna do a good job. I don't think any manager does a good job at Chelsea anyway. I think it's hard for you to go there. There's so much micromanaging. You're not really the manager pretty much. But you don't know, like, maybe this type of players, like maybe these young boys as well that you guys have got in, maybe they need someone that's a bit more jovial or a bit more like, not as serious. This might be the way to kind of tap into them. You never know. Like, everyone's got their different methods, everyone's got their different strategies. I don't want them to succeed. I don't want anything Chelsea positive to happen in my lifetime. So I can. So you never know. But it might be different. These young boys this might be the way to kind of actually get them to not get sent off.
You've got so much PTSD that a man's happiness seems like weakness.
Exactly.
You smell joy on him. And you're like,
why?
Leave that fucking shit in France. We don't do that here.
That's what I mean. Maybe this is good. This might be good for Chelsea.
He's probably the best suited to the role, I suppose, in terms of, that micromanagement type style. And he'll probably just get on with it. But it's not a good look, is it? Like,
no, I agree with the press conference stuff. That is, as you said, like, just keep your head down and get into the dressing room and then do your stuff, type of thing. But he might have been told to do it. He might have been told you need to put yourself out.
No, you're definitely on point, Io. Like, I get what you're saying, Rhys. Like, from a optics perspective, it looks ridiculous because man's chatting more than he's actually chatting to the players. But these are all contractual things. Like, all the broadcasters force these men to do all of these different interviews. They can basically pick who they want to speak to. And when you have a new manager, they're obviously not going to go and fucking speak to Tosin or to Chalobah, are they? They're going to say, I want to speak to the manager, please. And then they're going to chat with him from every angle, try and like catch him out and start doing it. It's just, it comes with the territory, I guess, a bit. But yeah, it's just because of the way the cards have been dealt that it doesn't look great, but I can't blame him.
And I just think like for the ownership as well, like this is like the fourth manager in 4 years. Like, we're looking at and out of that, we've had only 2 years in the Champions League. We might have another season out of the Champions League. We've got no bloody shirt sponsor.
Don't forget the World Champs.
Bro, I'm going to milk that. I'm going to milk that for the next 4 years. I said this. That's the only thing I might be able to milk. This is the thing. Like, there has
to be a pause there, by the way. There had to be a pause there.
It was his second very emphatic milking of the pod. Like, I'm going to milk that before he said that with him. And I wasn't on cam, so you couldn't see the face that I made.
There has to be a pause there.
All right, let's
go on, Rhys. Move on. Rhys, do you think Liam, Rosina, or as I think we're going to start calling him Rotisserie because he's going to get cooked, do you feel like there is a part of him that's like, do you know what? I've been put in a position where I cannot succeed So I'm just gonna enjoy it while I'm here. I'm gonna raise my profile. I'm gonna do all the interviews. I'm gonna get all these PR clips of me shouting at the players on the touch. Come on, Esteval. Yeah, more like that's gonna happen in the game, lad. You gotta keep going. Like he's getting all the PR clips. He's aura farming, as the youths would say, because he knows he's here for a good time, not a long time, and maybe the more PR points that he can put up, the better his landing spot will be. Do you know what I'm saying? That's like, do you think there's an element of that like in it, or do you think he genuinely thinks like, I can take Chelsea to great heights, I can get us back to where we need to be?
100%.
I think one's more likely.
Either way, he's got nothing to lose, to be honest, because Chelsea managers don't really have a long lifespan anyway.
But didn't they give him a contract to 2032 or something stupid like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there'll be get out clauses in that. There'll be get out clauses in that where like, I think with a contract like that, they wouldn't just give him one with a massive payoff. I think there'll be like get out clauses for both.
He's on less money than I don't know, Asugo or whatever, one of these random youths that you bought. He's not on anything. And yeah, I mean, at this point, I feel like if you go and work at the club shop, you're going to get a contract to 2035. So I think it's just the Chelsea way. I don't think it means
job security there.
I'm sure in 2028, Chelsea will be hiring Gary O'Neill from Strasbourg.
Yeah, so they will probably.
Yeah.
You're probably being optimistic with 28. It might be 27, bro. Let's see how it goes. But from one shambolic team in the south to the shambolic team in the north, Man United. Very similar set circumstances. Manager speaks out in a press conference twice. He absolutely loses his head completely. And he's been fired on Monday morning when I wake up. Back to work, first day back in the office. Ornstein drops the bomber. Amorim sacked. Then he's dapping up photographers on his little walk, his morning walk. Yeah, man, crazy. Life of a United fan. He's gone. Monash, you can throw away that little judge doll that he has somewhere with all the pins in it. He's done his job. Amorim's out, and yeah, we've got Darren Fletcher. Confusion about how long we've got him for. Apparently, it was supposed to just be the Burnley game. Now he's going to be there for the Brighton game in the Cup, and you never know. He might be there until the end of the season, but. Yeah, right now the options. I mean, you're talking about Rosenio, as an option. We might get Ollie back. We might get Michael Carrick. The options are sparse. Let's be real. But it does seem like we're going down this caretaker interim till the end of the season. They don't want to make this final decision on the manager now, which I don't know. I want to get you lot's opinion before we get into the games and that. For me, that tells me. We can rule out the Prem managers that have been in the running. I think that means we can rule out Glasner, Iriola. I think Marco Silva's been linked. For me, this points towards them wanting to wait for a World Cup manager that might be on the market at the end of the tournament. A Tuchel, an Ancelotti, a Pochettino, a Nagelsmann, someone like that. All four of those guys going to be at the World Cup with contracts that end pretty soon after the tournament. So maybe I'm being too optimistic that these idiots know what they're doing. And, the correlation is that those four are the best managers available. And so I'm hoping that they're going to try and go after them. But they could also be just trying to save dollars because I believe the 3 Premier League managers are all out of contract at the end of the season too. So they could just be waiting to get Glasner, Iriola, or Silva at the end of the season, no compensation, save money so they don't have to fire more dinner ladies. It could be either one. What do you make of this United thing? Because I know you want to stick the knife in and put your tagline thing, about hating United in there. This is your chance, bro. Get it out.
That brings me joy to see you guys suffer. Is that on? It brings me great joy to watch what you guys are getting through. I've told you this. For as long as I live, seeing you guys suffer, it brings me nothing but happiness. And in these dark days, to see United tears, it was always great. Now I was gutted that Amorim left. To be fair, I think it was wonderful to watch. Honestly, it was wonderful to watch how bad you guys were. To see his complete disregard for just refused to play a back four, and then seeing that back four worked, he said that can't happen under my watch. I'm going back to a back three, and he just refused to acknowledge it. I think you guys. I don't think you're gonna be looking for those big World Cup managers. I think you're definitely waiting for the summer. I think to try and get Glasner or Iraola or something like that. I just think there's no point in hiring one of these managers now in January when you're not going to give them any money. Like, at least get them in the summer where they can actually have a bit of time with the team. Let them finish their season out, and then they can come in fresh. But yeah, I'd be surprised if someone like maybe Tuchel, maybe depending how England goes at the World Cup, maybe to see how he feels. But yeah, I think it's more likely to be Glasner. I feel like his name's been linked for a very long time, and he's a good manager. So that would be actually kind of pretty sad to see him go to you guys. But yeah, no, I think I was gutted to see Amorim go, and I think it's good that he's still putting money into the local economy. I see he's not left Manchester yet. he's still going to cafes and still enjoying that nice little payout there. And I think it's brilliant that he's smiling as well. The guy clearly did not want to be there anymore, and he got his wish. And yeah, he's got his payout. He's enjoying it. I don't think he was doing a good job anyway. The fact it took this long to sack him is, I think that's the ridiculous part. I think the fact he wasn't sacked for performance, he was sacked for basically speaking out of turn. So I think that I think that part's kind of ridiculous and part of the United board. But yeah, no, you guys are in disarray, and yeah, it brings me great joy to watch you guys suffer. And I do like you, but yeah, your tears and your sadness inject it into my veins directly. It's just great. And it pause as well.
Yeah, exactly. Pause that one. But I'm glad that you top and tailed again. Pause your little segment with your tagline. So well done. But with the Amorim stuff, before we come to Razor and Rhys on this, what Rhys just described in terms of the micromanagement at the board level with the sporting directors, as much as Amorim had to go, not for him speaking out, but for his performance, because it was fucking diabolical. But when we talk about the micromanagement that he was going through, I understand why he's cheesing and he's loving life afterwards. Because if you've got Jason Wilcox, who, by the way, again, this might be the point where we need to point towards the disclaimer at the beginning. That brother, United fans need to see his head on a stick, because he knows fuck all about football. And the fact that he has been a development coach at City, well done. But as far as I care, I don't give a fuck about the development squads, right? And then he's the next job he's had is Southampton director of football, where they went down and like literally bought all of Man City's youth project players and all this kind of stuff. And it was clearly some sort of fucking Ponzi scheme fraud situation. Why is he our director of football? And then he's telling the
and the disclaimers be stronger when you're accusing people of illegal activity.
Yeah, of course. Entertainment purposes.
Activities, not the incitement to violence.
The violence as well. It needs to be a lot stronger at the disclaimer.
It's entertainment purposes, folks. Entertainment purposes.
You and Musa, yeah. You see, United fans, I will not testify for you, man. I will not show up to court. Yeah, you're gonna get us back.
No one will. No one will. No one's gonna back up a United fan. I get it. But my point still stands, minus the exaggeration on, like you said, the violence potentially over the top, and the criminal activity. Exaggeration. But like, why is this guy is coming in and telling managers how they should play? And I saw some interview where he openly admitted he likes to get too involved with the decisions around the tactics and the playing, and he basically is guilty of micromanaging and trying to be a manager. If we have a director of football like that, we're finished. No manager can actually succeed when you've got someone. It's like the workplace. If you have a line manager who's just like looking through every single task you do, telling you how you need to do everything and not just letting you do your job, it's highly unlikely you're not going to succeed, or you're going to crash out like Amorim, put your notice in and duck. And so I'm not even shocked that that's happened. But what I would say is Wilcox needs to go with him, and that bald prick Barada probably as well. Like it shouldn't stop with Amorim. It should probably go everyone, maybe even Jim, chuck the old man in there as well. Get rid of all of them and then just start afresh, because they talked about bringing football people in. They've made the big decisions they've made have been catastrophic, right? Keeping Ten Hag, giving him a contract, hiring and then firing Dan Ashworth for like the cost of 7 million in the space of 4 months. Diabolical. Hiring this manager with a drip and then backing him, even though he's been terrible for most of the time. Worst manager since World War II or whatever the stat that comes out. That stat I know you guys will like, right? Then afterwards, you sack him just because he said the Roy Keane meme, just do your job essentially, and your feelings got hurt, and suddenly you've paid him out another 10 million, and apparently his staff are high-fiving, doing backflips after they got their P45. It's mad. I know it's not quite the 30 minutes that Rhys did, but I'm telling you, this is crash out worthy. Even if Amorim is so bad and we needed to get a new manager, the way it's been managed. You know, there's that clip on social of this guy chatting to someone, like unpopular opinion, and he says United haven't been managed like a big club or something. I can't remember what his take is, but essentially his take is that we've been managed like absolutely poorly. Boy, when I saw that video, I thought this prick is talking shit. But then the more time passes, the more I have to view that video in a different light and go, you know what? He might be onto something. And yeah, it's not looking good, man. And the results on the pitch, we haven't even talked about that. 1-1 at Leeds, 2-2 at Burnley. Yeah, we can't win, even against the lower league teams. So God knows how we're still in the top 10. We've got to thank teams like Chelsea and Liverpool for stinking it up almost as badly as us, if not worse than us. Otherwise, we could have been in 15th again. But yeah, I don't know. Razor, do you want to jump in and stick the knife in as well?
I personally, I have a lot of personal love and affection for the work that Ruben Amorim has done. For me, he's impacted my life positively greatly. One, because the results speak for itself. World War II, the Blitz, etc. Two, I think it's wonderful to know that, like, United. I've always known that United fans were style over substance, but you really proved it, because man, them were gassed over the Moncler. They were like, he's got the Monclizzy on.
Did you see? He had the Monclizzy. He had
in the street,
bro. He had the Monclizzy again after he lost the job. Right, like, so he's back in the drip again.
New Monclizzies, bro.
Exactly. Limited pieces, bro. Limited pieces. He's
one of one. He's getting them altered by the factory. The one thing I'll say, because you're like echo IO sentiments, the pain and the tears, delicious, delectable. The one thing I'll say is, the mismanagement thing. Also, I feel like the Man United board got the one that everyone knows. And like when a man's tired of his relationship, and instead of breaking up with his girl, he starts being a pagan. Well, we meant to go for dinner with your friends. Sorry, I actually booked to go and play golf with the boys. I won't be back at that time. Like, I'm going to the match that day. Swear down, it's your mum's birthday. I can't make it still. What do you mean the makeup brush ain't meant to be put there? Like, you can't just put it in the dishwasher. Like, them kind of behaviors there, yeah. That's what man's doing, hoping that one day she crashes out, smashes a plate, does something, and he can be like, I don't know if I can. This is a really hostile environment. I don't know if I can continue here. That's what Amorim did to you, man. That's what he did. He dragged your club through the mud, performance-wise. He made a mockery of the institution that is supposedly Manchester United. Like Ayo said, he went, I have this system. You must play my system. Okay, like, we'll try this other system. Now that system worked, but it's not my system. He violated the thing, and you man lapped it up and got forced to watch. And I can't wait for what you lot put on the Jumbotron for season 8 or whatever it is, or whatever this comedy of errors is. It's beautiful. It's so great to watch, man. Give it to Fletcher. I would love to. Someone put on Twitter, yeah, Fletcher's gonna make himself player manager and play a midfield three of Fletcher, and based on certain performances, can it be worse than Ugarte and Casemiro? I was
just gonna say, bro, I was a bit harsh on Casemiro this season. He's been all right, but definitely would be better than anything Ugate's ever done.
Retirement.
So I would take Darren Fletcher right now.
Yeah, and I'm just happy for Kobbie Mainoo because I love people screenshotting all of the players, liking all of the memes and shit of the situation. Kobbie Mainoo laughing at the memes. Probably the first proper laugh my man's had in a while. I'm glad for the young king. Even Garnacho is getting involved. He's at the Chelsea ground just flipping.
He's a chief, man. He's in the gulag, mate. He's in no position. Exactly, my man. Yeah, Kobbie, the Cobster, as Nash likes to call him. I hear it. Free Kobbie and all that. But you better get game time, man. Otherwise, these ex-club legends need to be in the firing line in a similar way. Kobbie's got to play. So let's see how it goes. Hopefully he does get game time. We see him kind of get back to his levels. But yeah, I don't know, man. In terms of, he is kind of right, man. I know Evra said that about Arsenal and the Netflix and the seasons end the same. But United, when it comes to the managerial appointments and the same failures, we're not even multiple seasons. It's just one season being rerun over and over again. Prime time, Channel 4 in the morning. You know what I mean? Simpsons and all that shit. So I think we're finished. Unless I see all of these guys in a very similar Rhys crash out. Sadly, we've only got one director of football, but he's just as shit as the 5 that you've got. So yeah, we need to see a big change when it comes to all of those people. And yeah, these guys think they're smart as well by putting Fletcher, Carrick, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Van Nistelrooy. What's the trend with all those 4-man guys? They're just looking for a protective blanket. They think, oh yeah, we'll get an ex-player in.
Exactly.
We'll get an ex-player in. That will shut everyone up. Oh, the fans will calm down. They won't get onto us. Nah. I swear to God, I better not see United fans get put up with this shit. Because if United fans,
if Ollie gets top 4, you're going to give him the job.
Yeah, man. Ollie at the wheel. We're right back there. We're right back at the wheel, man.
We're back at the wheel.
No, I'm joking. Ollie's lucky to be in the running, mate. You know what I mean? He's had his chance. It was good for the first 17 games or whatever, and then it crashed out afterwards. But yeah, we need to get someone else in. And but they're gonna fail, man. What you man said is I can't argue with any of it. If you get a different person in with the same idiots above them, micromanaging in the same way, I can't see how it's gonna work. So yeah, I think we'll just bounce around how we have been in the last kind of 6-7 years between 4th, 5th, and I don't know, 10th or whatever. So yeah, let's see how it goes. But in terms of the performances, Leeds, I think that was a rubbish game in general. I don't even think Leeds kind of smoked us. No team kind of smoked each other. It was just a bad game. And then the Burnley game, we actually peppered them, but of course, typical. We can't seem to defend. We had so many chances, goals disallowed, all kinds of different things. And if you can't beat Burnley away, yeah, that tells you all you need to know about the team, man. We're not serious. But anyway, enough United. I'm tired now. Let's go on to the FA Cup round 3, Carabao Cup semi-final previews and all that. We're obviously not going to do predictions because we're not counting this in the league. It's just for the league fixtures, but we'll chat through them briefly. We're at home to Brighton. My opinion on this is we have to go full strength. As Kem likes to mention, and some of you like to mention, we're playing one game a week. We don't need, who needs rotating? I'm sorry. Everyone needs to play in this game. If you're fit, you should be playing in it. I don't want to see Bayern Deer. I don't want to see Fredrickson or any of these youths that I've never heard of. I don't want to see any of these guys. I just want to see our proper strongest 11 and us to go for it. And we still could lose because Brighton, apart from the last game, have a pretty, Brighton have a pretty good record against us, apart from the last one, you know what I mean, where we managed to beat them. They've beaten us umpteen times at Old Trafford. And like I've seen some Brighton fans like banter us on Twitter, Pascal Gross is back. And if you know, you know. I'm worried. I'm worried now. Now that he's back from Dortmund just in time for this game, I'm severely worried. So, yeah, strongest 11. Otherwise, yeah, I want Fletcher sacked immediately. All right, what about Liverpool game, guys? They're against Barnsley, lower league. They lost to lower league team last season. People never really talk about it, but that was the kind of start of Slot's terrible year, even worse than Ruben Amorim. They lost away to Plymouth, if you man remember. Do you think they should do the same to avoid kind of another upset, or do you think they've got to rotate, or kind of what do you man think about the Liverpool stuff? We obviously don't have a Liverpool fan to discuss it. Do you think they should go for it?
Definitely. Yeah, that's in terms of things to play for. I think there, to be honest. So I think they definitely, but obviously be mindful. Because obviously you don't want to send your full squad out, but then they lost to Plymouth last year, so you know, I think Slot has to kind of take this one serious and start as he means to go on.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think you should go for it. And to Peter B7N5N, I hear you, brother. United, Luke Shaw. That's got to be something that I'm going to get cancelled for as well. So I won't chat about it. But
you Rhys are depressed.
Football's a tough world right now, man.
Brother, Luke Shaw eats the same amount of Big Macs that I do, but he's on 200k a week, and he's, you know what I mean? Like, let me play then. I'll play left centre back and be injured all the time and eat Big Macs. Come on, man. All right. From one joke situation, this question I've definitely it's funny. So Arsenal away to Portsmouth. Do you man think now that your anti-knife crime campaign is over, you can get a win in the FA Cup again, or do you think it's
mad?
I will knife crime you. Shut up.
That is mad. And it's not over. We're just not wearing the kit, all right?
Yeah,
man.
Also, why is it when we do good stuff in the community,
we get laughed at? Exactly.
Because you lose the same day.
Of all the things to banter, man said, "Oh, knife crime is bad." Like, and it's like, oh,
bro, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel. You man are top 6 points.
Talking about you, the general discourse, isn't it? Like, it always baffled me. Even before we started losing in that kit, there were people like, "Oh, well, you know, classic Arsenal, absolute woke." What's woke about not wanting you to get stabbed, bro?
I think it's very, very admirable because you try and stop the knife crime and you just get stabbed up in the FA Cup. But now that it's over, now that it's over, now it's over. You're going to go back to FA Cup winning. Yeah, you're the most winningest FA Cup team.
Of all the cups to talk to us about.
Yeah, exactly. You got to try and win it again now after just this little stint that you've given up for your campaign. Now you're back. You're going to win, right? Portsmouth away. You got to get the dub. But you guys are jokes aside. You're definitely going to rotate this one, surely. I don't want to see what the group that's going to be like if Ethan's not playing.
If I don't see Ethan, it's nah. I don't want to process that thought in my head.
You might want to hear something hilarious.
I bet he's injured.
While we've been on the pod, I've gotten an Arsenal app notification talking about will Kai Havertz be back in rotation against. And I just feel like Ayo will have a crash out in him.
He's crashing regardless. Yeah.
I don't mind if I see Kai. I told you I need to see just Ethan play football again, bro. Like, why can't I not see my boy play football? Why don't we got when we need someone that can break a game open, he doesn't get played, bro. Don't let me crash out, man. I'm not trying to get too much level. If you talk about Ethan, I'm not playing.
We need all the players that we've got, bro. He's gonna play a pivotal role in the run up to the end of the season. Do you know what I'm saying? Same thing with Eza. Like, some of my friends who support Palace are crashing out because they're like, bro, why did you take our game breaker guy and you're not even playing him? Are you mad? You know what I mean? And I was like,
that is a bit weird, though, don't you think? He didn't.
Your game breaker guy
saying he did play.
He's now at Arsenal, innit? Like, the levels are different. Arteta keeps saying that he's very happy with him in training. Everyone keeps saying that he's amazing. He keeps saying he's very happy with what's going on. Like we're talking about somebody who, for starters, hasn't had like many full seasons without getting hit by like a heavy or a reasonable injury. Do you know what I mean? He's now playing at a bigger club with bigger expectations, but he's also coming off the back of playing a lot more games than he generally plays in the season. I think we're just trying not to break the shiny
just
toy
managing
guy.
him.
Yeah, man. Like this is what's going to happen, and we're going to get to the end of the season, and you look at the workload that we're giving to players now, and we're going to have other players that are going to play their role. That's how I feel about it, innit? And I think like if Ethan wanted to go on loan, I'm sure there's a lot of clubs that would have loved to have had him, and I'm sure it's not the first time that they've had the conversation. I think we're going to get some players on the pitch. We're going to get some minutes. The Ios and that are going to get there. They're going to be able to chill out a bit. And it's going to be
see my boy play, man. I just want to see him play.
Broski, he doesn't play for Forest Green recoveries or whatever you answer in the quiz. Like he plays for the Arsenal, bro. He's 18. He's gonna have to wait his turn. These are the kind of days that I'll accept your crash outs on. But like, come on. And you know what I don't want to see? I don't want to see MLS play left back. I don't care who we're rotating. I don't care how many.
That's unfair on him, man. That's unfair.
Bro, I love Miles Lewis Skelly. Play him. It's a
confidence thing. It's okay. Yeah, no, I agree with that part.
And the confidence is gone. And playing him at left back, bro. You're putting him under too much pressure, and he's not going to get his confidence back by getting daggered by Jeremy Pogba.
Yeah, no, true. But there's no way that player from last year that played amazing at left back isn't still there. It's just a confidence thing, man. It's a confidence thing. Like he needs his confidence.
I know, I hear it, but like Miles, I've been saying since he was playing well, I don't want to see Miles playing left back. That's a future.
No, I agree.
Build. Like, do you know what I mean? But I think
he's third choice left back now, though.
He's fourth choice left back.
Yeah,
fourth choice left back. I want to see Tim
in midfield
before I see him. Yeah,
bro. No, he should play midfield. No, midfield.
He might even be fifth. Declan Rice might be able to, after what he did at right back. Declan Rice might be our fourth choice left back. No disrespect to Miles, bro. I think Miles is great. Same thing with Ethan. The reason Ethan's not getting as many minutes is because he did a great job in a makeshift position on the wing. But he is not a wing. He's a 10. So now you're getting your 10 treatment. But this is where you are in the 10 queue.
He's third choice or fourth choice.
He's behind Marino, bro.
Anyway, I think we're gonna have a great FA Cup day. F you, man, and your jokes about fighting knife crime. I think we are gonna be all right this round. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, shout out Portsmouth. They used to be top side.
Heritage, man.
Yeah, I got some proper like Barclays memories of
Barclays heritage.
Yeah, trust me. So yeah, proper big team, game. Bratton Park, love it.
Let's see, man. Yeah, let's see if the curse is over. All right, Chelsea versus Charlton. This feels like a real old school throwback game as well. Charlton feel like another proper early Barclays Premier League team. Rhys, do you want to go for this now? Because the league's gotten a little bit sticky. You're obviously in the Carabao Cup semi-final though, but do you think, because you mentioned that the hierarchy like parading these trophies that they win, right, as like validation for their approach. Do you think that they're gonna like kind of mandate that Rosenia actually goes for this game, or do you think he'll like kind of deprioritize it?
I think regardless, we have to go for it. But can I just let's get all this FA Cup, League Cup narrative. Like the top four was always the goal, and top four is still the goal, even though they've pissed on our season. Like that doesn't give them a pass.
That's crashing part too.
It doesn't give them a pass to write off the league at all. I mean, the distance between fourth and wherever is not that much. So we top four, top five. And that's me lowering my expectations from top four after you lot try to drag me in the title. So yeah, I just want to put that out there. Like prioritizing the FA Cup or not, like top four is the goal. Like, because if we have another season out of the Champions League, we're in the mud. So, but yeah, no, he does need to go for it because I think he's going to start a fairly strong team. Just with the fact that he needs to get his ideas across and see how his ideas of his strongest team are going to look. So I expect us to go for it. I think Charlton will be tricky because it's a London derby, particularly South. Nathan Jones, I mean, easy
Charlton will be tricky.
I think honestly, you think I'm joking. We went to, where did we go? We went Lincoln and they put us under. You think I'm not? You think Charlton's going to be a tough game?
Champions of the world. World champs.
You had it.
Listen, we're going to be shit for the next 4 years, but we're still world champs. Do you know what's that thing back in the day when like a girl used to say something and there was that meme about I still smash though? That's exactly what we did. We smashed and we came out clean. You get me? So, like, we can be shit for the next.
Whoa. Oh my days!
I'm saying too much. Real talk. Yeah, no, world champs. I'm going off the point now.
Get back to
Charlton.
No,
I think Charlton will be difficult. It will be that type of atmosphere, isn't it? But yeah, we have to go.
You think a close win on the cards then is what you're expecting, right? Like it's going to be tricky.
And old Liam finding out how much depth he actually needs. Pause,
bro. Fucking hell, mate. By the way, Liam, we're going to skirt over that because it's crazy. The last 2 minutes have been mad.
Oh yeah, delete that, please.
No, bro, it's live, bro. What are you talking about? The Charlton, like Liam, the banter aside, he's managing the championship. That's been the most of his experience. So Charlton away, you're hoping that he's going to be prepared for whatever kind of, the new manager shock that might come up when you play teams in the lower league. I think he should be all right. But yeah, it's his first game, proper game, right? Like, so let's see if he's able to get off on the right foot. But it's going to be. I know these guys are bantering you, but I can relate to lower league team away being a struggle. Let's not mention Grimsby, please.
I just think if the atmosphere. Oh no, yeah, I was just going to say. I just think if the atmosphere is hostile, then I don't think we adapt well to hostile atmospheres. So that's why I just think they'll make it difficult for us in that game. And then, yeah, it's a new manager, so I don't think we're going to have that bounce that everyone thinks they're going to get with us.
Yeah, let's see. All right, let's go on to the Chelsea-Arsenal Carabao Cup semi-final first leg. It's on Wednesday, yeah? Out of these two, who do you think needs a trophy more? Because I know Arteta's got one, but obviously not with this current set of players. And Chelsea struggling in the league. Would the trophy be more beneficial for Chelsea? What do you, Razor? What do you think, bro? Do you think who needs it more out of these two teams?
I think there are compelling arguments for both. I think one thing that Gary Neville et al. On the punditry keeps saying that I do think isn't just hate is that this Arsenal team seems to have a little bit of, they get Bambi legs when it gets to crunch time because a lot of them haven't been there before. And it's a reason why I think having players like Jesus back is important. Just somebody who can be like, yo, lock in, this is what we're doing. So I think progressing through a tournament, winning knockout games that have a lot of potential on them, I think that's a good experience for our squad to have. And I think it could help us in our endeavors in other tournaments that we care about winning more. I think in terms of like winning the cup overall, I think it does more for Chelsea this season than it does for Arsenal. I think if we win it this season, people and don't win the Prem, people are going to be like, do you know what I'm saying? If we pick it up on the way to winning the Prem or as part of that campaign, then it's a nice to have. Whereas I think like kind of what Rhys was saying is like, I feel like you were saying that you don't feel like, oh, yeah, like don't abandon the Prem and come to me with the Carabao Cup because I'm not going to care. But I do feel like a lot of Chelsea fans that I know would like that in it. I feel like they would say, you know, like, not saying like if you dropped out of Europe, but like if you were still up there, like getting into the top 4 and you pick up a Carabao Cup, it's going to be similar to what some of your United fans were saying. And, oh, even one of our worst seasons, you know, like we still picked up a trophy. We always win trophies. Unlike you, man. Do you know what I mean? So I think in terms of the experience for the squad and what it means to the campaign, Arsenal could really use it. In terms of actually lifting the trophy this season, I think Chelsea would probably want it more.
Yeah, I hear it, man. What do you make of it, mate? Do you think?
Nah, we need the trophy. We need the trophy. We can't. It's we need to win it. Like regardless if it's just a Carabao, I think it's just a confidence thing. You need to, as you said, the players need to lift the trophy. Like, hasn't won anything with this crop of players. And I think just for confidence, and obviously, as Razor said, if we win it on the way to win the Prem, then it's a great thing. But if we win it and we don't win the Prem, I won't be happy. But I think in terms of confidence, it's going to be something that will build. And if we can't be Chelsea are there for the taking, the trophy's there for the taking. Like it's just something to build momentum. And if that's on the way to winning more trophies, then it's perfect. And we can't go another year about having no silverware when we looked as good as we've looked. So we need. I want to see this. I want to see this trophy in our cabinet at least, well, at least once.
But Rhys, from the sounds of it, it looks like you both would like it, but as kind of a stepping stone to another target, right? Like Arsenal obviously are not looking at the Carabao Cup to be their season definer. They want it to build the momentum to take them. Because there is a correlation, though. There is one thing that, again, GNev said that isn't just pure waffle, which is that a lot of if you look at the Prem winning teams, a lot of them do have that momentum, like kind of boosting win in the Carabao Cup on the lead up to winning the league. And then you could hopefully use it in a similar way to springboard back into top 4, top 5. Do you think that that's fair, or do you think, like you said earlier, F this off, just get the top 4, top 5, and that's what you care about more?
It's a bit of a difficult one because I just feel like our chances have just got slimmer with everything that's kind of happened. So it kind of puts Arsenal in the better position to go and win it. In terms of who needs it more, I mean, a Carabao Cup win for us will only make the board look good. As much as I love a cup final day out, I think, and then, you could argue with Arsenal as well. The thing is, like, a Carabao Cup won't suffice not winning the league. So, but what it will do is maybe give Arteta a better excuse to throw Community Shields in with his FA Cup win. I mean, you could argue Arteta definitely needs that. But no. In all realness, a Carabao Cup win for Arsenal would kind of show how serious they are in terms of like having that fight and going to those stages of like competitions and going to win it. It should, I think it will be a good thing to boost their momentum going forwards. So on that basis, I would say Arsenal need it more, but I think it's for them, there's only one focus. They're not going to, like, Arsenal fans are here for the league. And a Carabao Cup will just show how far the team has come in terms of that readiness to go and compete on like these fronts. And like, wasn't it? They got to the semi-final last year. So this would just be another step to show the improvement. So I definitely think Arsenal need it more because we've written off our season. And according to Sky, it's not the end of the world if we go out. So it's there, mate. The alley, you must. That's my kind of thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, we're obviously not going to do predictions before we get into Prediction League, but like from these games, I don't know what you, man, think. I think Liverpool will beat Barnsley. I think, jokes aside, Arsenal will definitely beat Portsmouth now. I think Chelsea will scrape through against Charlton. The United-Brighton one, I think it'll probably end up a draw, but I think there's no replays this season, right? So it goes to pens based on what I saw yesterday with Nottingham Forest and Wrexham. So it would just be very typical United to lose on pens at home to Brighton. So I'm probably predicting something along them lines to happen. But the Chelsea-Arsenal one, I hear it, and I understand the doom and gloom from Rhys's side, but I actually think this will probably end up like a draw. And then we'll go into the second leg like with a bit of jeopardy. But I don't know what if any of you, man, have a hot take on any of these games before we move to the prediction league?
I think there'll be one upset. At the moment, it looks. I wouldn't group Man United and Brighton in that because I don't.
I was going to say that's not really.
To be honest, I think Brighton beating you would be more expected than unexpected, given how your season's going. I think there's one upset in there. I'm praying it's not us. If you look at the teams, it's most likely to be Chelsea. Sorry, Rhys. But you know, Sky Sports and that. Yeah, like I just feel like my favorite thing about the FA Cup is anything can happen, and it's a bit random. Do you know what I mean? And teams proper turn up. I would love a Danny Welbeck dagger for Brighton. I would absolutely adore that. But
Peter
yeah,
he's ruined it.
He's lost you now. I think it might be
Chelsea.
Lost me
now, Peter.
I think it might be Chelsea, Charlton. I don't know. And then in terms of that Arsenal-Chelsea game, I honestly don't know. I need to check, but I'm pretty sure one of your players, if not more, are suspended for that game. For some reason, probably a red card.
Probably Cucurella.
Yeah, probably Cucurella, maybe Caicedo, someone. But yeah, I just think that in terms of all of that, that's gonna have a real impact, and the 2-leg thing is gonna have a real impact. So I don't know how that's gonna go, but I definitely think we're gonna get an upset in one of these FA Cup fixtures.
Yeah, I don't want to speak too much about the FA Cup, but with the Arsenal game, I can see obviously maybe a 1-1 like it always is at Stamford Bridge, but I think the Emirates, I think that's where we'll come unstuck, and I think Arsenal will show their quality, but yeah, it's always the unknown with a new manager and whatnot, so he might tactically take Arteta to school. Sounds mad.
Even you didn't believe that as that came out.
I tried to believe it though. I tried to believe it as I was saying it. That's the thing. But, yeah. I don't know.
It happens, man. No, I think you guys.
Stranger things have happened in football.
Exactly. And I think we played you guys a couple of weeks ago, and you were screaming about Rhys James being the best right back or something like.
Let's not get into that again.
No, exactly. So yeah,
best midfielder. Rice was at home.
There you go. Exactly. So yeah, no, it could be a tight game. I don't.
At home. My midfielder dropped 2 man of the match performances against Rice and Rodri. Don't at me. I'm joking.
World champs, yeah. Look what we're flexing. World champs. Look what we're flexing right now.
I'm fishing. I'm joking. Let me stay.
Best midfielder in the Prem can't inspire any level of discipline from his team. Leader.
I didn't say best midfielder. I didn't say best midfielder. I'm just saying the performances he put out against the best midfielders. Mad.
You know what I like about Stamford Bridge? You lot move the goalposts about all the time, man. The goalposts can just up and down the pitch.
No, the goal's there, man. The goal's there. You said Rice was the best midfielder. I wasn't disputing that. I was just saying Rice got left at home.
There is no disputing it.
Rice had more ingredients backing him on the pitch.
We needed this. We needed it. We needed a bit of this friction before the game, guys, because it's going to make the next pod nice when we get to it.
Them men have got a racist. They got a midfield made up of a racist, a window licker, and the shin kicker, and they always want to talk about Rice, man. Leave Declan. Keep my goddamn midfielder's name out your mouth. You know what I mean?
I have to insert here. Pause. Entertainment purposes, guys. Entertainment purposes. All right. Let Io quickly get in your predictions. Not predictions, but do you think there's going to be any upsets? How do you see the Chelsea Arsenal? Do you think you're going to get the dub? Quickly before we go to the prediction league.
Yeah, I don't think any upsets. I think every team will go. I think all the favorites will go through, and yeah, I think Brighton will beat you guys. Just because I think Brighton are a better team, to be fair. So I just see that happening. And yeah, Chelsea Arsenal I think will be tight. I don't think it's going to be as easy as we'd hope, because I think they always turn up. So yeah, I think it'll be a tight game. I think as Rhys said, I think a 1-1 looks likely. And yeah, but hopefully the return fixture should be better. So why is this guy here, man? Tell him to why. I was trying to read the name and I was like, why am I looking?
The whole episode, and all of a sudden he's just.
I don't need. Just let him. Just go enjoy your time, bro. My God. Oh,
Yeah, well done, Kem. Well done. He's kept. I tell you what, his attendance record in terms of actually being on the panel is god awful. But in terms of comments, man's got 100% record. He's always in the comments trolling. But anyway, let's go on to the prediction league before we wrap up. So yeah, the drama that was the top two in the table, Rhys and Io, both did not submit their predictions in time. To be fair, it was like a bit of a surprise game week in terms of us getting the reminders out or lack of reminders. But yeah, they both flopped it, and it didn't really affect things too much. So Rhys is still top, 72 points, 12 correct scores. Io's still top, second, top two, on 70 points and 10 correct scores. Goal difference splits him and Johns. Johns is in third with the identical record, 70 points and 10 correct scores. Kem is in fourth, 69 points and 11 correct scores. Razor's in fifth, 67 points and 8 correct scores. I'm in sixth, 62 points and 6 correct scores. And Nash is still bottom in seventh with 53 points and 8 correct scores. So yeah, stinker of a week. I think Kem got 2 points. Razor got 1 point, I think, and Nash got 1 point, and everyone else got nothing. So
you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. Ashamed of yourselves. That is disgusting.
It was a poor showing.
A free pass for the man.
I've never laughed so much when you sent the updated league and I saw no movement, bro. I was in bits. I was like, how did not one of you get anything from any of those games? It is
man, shut up.
No, I can't, because you guys had a chance. You had a chance to come up, mate.
This was
you realized you missed the deadline. No,
this is your week, and that's it now.
League, hold on. The thing with the prediction league, is there's a moving amount of points you can get each week in it. So, like, let's say there's a game week where none of the social media derby teams are playing each other. There's probably going to be like 4, 5, maybe even 6 big fixtures. 6 fixtures that we're going to predict on. If someone has like I think the top in one game day is 2 so far, or 3 correct predictions so far. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's the same in a game week. If someone gets 3 correct predictions in the top 5, they're gonna relax, man. Relax. If you could be this positive, you've got a slimmer lead, in this thing than we've got in the Prem. And if you could be this positive about Arsenal, me and Johnny wouldn't have so much.
Not even got a lead. He's second.
I am so glad, because it's great, because it's not gonna. You guys had the chance to overtake. Me. I told you all the hate, and we're here. It's Rhys though. Rhys is cool being at the top though, but I'll be back to it. My right position.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw Io missed, I wasn't as worried as maybe I could have been.
There's no fear with that. No one else scares you. Exactly. This is it. No, there's no fear factor from the rest of them. Exactly.
And I think you should reconsider those reminders, though. Just saying.
No, I'm not getting back into that. I'm not getting back to that. Yeah. All right. Anyway, we've got no predictions this week, obviously, because the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. We'll be back next week, and then obviously going through. We've got the Man Derby. We've got a couple of other big fixtures to go through. So yeah, a humbled me will be entering the Man Derby chat in a different attitude than I did the last time. But yeah, we'll wrap up the pod here, guys. Great episode, and we'll see you guys all next week. Take care.
Peace.